Hello, everybody. Hi, wherever you are dialing in from. It's so great to see you once again for yet another um, a growth invitation. We're back in season 2, and as you know, in this season I'm committed to bringing powerful females from all around the world to share the stories of the challenges, the growth, and the transformation that they've had, as an invitation and as an inspiration to you all, so that no matter where you are, what you've experienced, and what your starting point is, you can always choose to grow and manifest your dream future. And today I am super excited because I have my amazing friend Jude Montesario here with me today. Hi, Jude.
Hi, Jeanette. Oh, it's such a pleasure to be here with you.
It's so great to have you here and for you to have offered to share such a impactful and definitely transformational journey. And Jude is someone that I met as part of the Lisa Nichols certification course that I was doing last year. And I think, every person who's been on that 1 year journey together has been, we're all feeling it still. I think we're all still going through a lot of it. There's kind of like the aftermath and the ripples from the course. The course itself, was uh 1 year, but we're about 5 months in after that year, and we're still going through it. I'm personally still going through it, and I know Jude, we catch up every now and then, and we all are. So, but anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to ask Jude to quickly introduce herself, and then we're going to jump into this really incredible journey today.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's been a journey. It's the program we were both in, and it still definitely continues. So, my name is Jude, obviously, and I was born and raised in beautiful New York and worked in the corporate world for 20 years. As Jeanette said, I'm a certified transformational trainer by Lisa Nichols. I am a best-selling author, a health and wellness life coach, um, a yoga instructor, certified yoga therapist, a whole food chef, and I love to cook. I love to be out in nature. Uh, I enjoy being with people and supporting people on their life's journey.
I love that. I love that. And, certainly with all of that, I actually didn't know about the Whole Foods chef. I was like, oh, okay, we need to talk. I love cooking. It's something that, I kind of dip in and out of, but it's something that I really enjoy learning about. But, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about something, really, because I could talk about it forever. We are here to talk about something really transformational that happened in your life. Like something that I was kind of talking about it earlier. It's like, well, I didn't know what to call this. But when I put those words together, rebuilding life after 9/11, I was like, I don't need to chat GPT this. I don't need to like add anything else to it. The name, the title speaks for itself. So if you would be willing, I'd love for you to actually share your story.
Of course, and I do love the title. It's perfect. So, as I shared with what I am doing now as a health and wellness life coach and best-selling author and so forth, I've been blessed to be on many podcasts and been in several newspapers and magazines, sharing my story to uplift people. However, it was not always that way. It was a beautiful September day in 2001, and me and John, the love of my life, were getting ready to go to work like any typical normal day. We took the express bus from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn to the city, Manhattan. New York is called Manhattan, the city. And I walked into his building, and at the elevator bank, gave him hugs and love. I love you. We exchanged I love yous and kisses. I'll see you later. And I walked to my building, up the escalator, across the street to the World Financial Center. That's where I worked. And I got to my desk with my tea and my muffin, started checking emails feverishly, right, as I was eating. And then I heard this loud, thunderous noise. And I was like, how could that possibly be on this crystal clear, blue sky September day? Stay at your desk. Everything's okay. We'll keep you posted. There was no way I could stay at my desk. I proceeded down 45 flights of stairs. I crossed the street. I looked up to see the World Trade Center up in flames, reaching for the sky. My feet glued to the New York City cement. Amongst the frantic crowd, the chaos, and the cacophony, I was absolutely frozen. It was 14 months of crying, of clinging, of compromising. And it was November of 2002, 14 months after he had died, along with so many people. I woke up, I went into the bathroom, I looked at my lifeless eyes in the mirror and couldn't even recognize myself. And said, you have to start healing. You have to make changes. And then it began. And I want to be totally honest. It was a long, slow process. And to this day, I'm still healing. But slowly, my toolbox began to fill. I started meditating. Don't forget, I'm a New Yorker. Meditating was beyond anything I ever imagined doing. I started practicing yoga, again, something I never wanted to do. But I went for yoga to ask those questions, to get answers to those questions from my soul. Who am I now? Why am I here? And where am I going? I journaled. I went out in nature. I traveled. And slowly, piece by piece, I went from unhealthy to healthy, from darkness to light, from only believing in impossibility to knowing possibility. So now, my mission is to help you not merely survive, but to thrive in life, to be authentically you and carry on your mission.
Mm. That is so, so amazing and so beautiful. I was tearing up when you were sharing that. I was like, oh my God, I cannot even begin to pretend to imagine what that would have felt when you were there. You heard it, you saw it, you watched it, and you knew that your loved one is somewhere. So I feel like I need a moment just to
Please
breathe.
it's
And I just want to, before we go any further, just say a massive thank you to you for really showing and sharing that so openly and so vulnerably and so beautifully as well, because I know it was, 2001 and we're now 2025, but it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It doesn't mean that, oh yeah, it's done. I'm like, yeah, let's move on. No, it still does live in, it's part of your identity. It's part of your past, it's part of your beautiful history, it's part of your memories as well. So thank you so much for being willing to share that here today. I, feel really, really honored to have you on and sharing that journey with us. And, you said it in a couple of words, but I know it wasn't a couple of words when you said, and I started meditating, and then I started yoga. And then it was like that overnight success of, yes, I'm now healed. Ta-da! It's not quite like that, is it? It wasn't quite. So I would like to, if you're okay, if you're willing to kind of go back to that point where before that day when you decided and committed to, you've got to start healing, like what was actually going through, if anything was going through your mind, or was it just, you mentioned that you were grieving?
Oh, that's such a huge question, because the first 14 months, well, let me say something with grief. I didn't know how to process this devastating grief I was feeling. I had lost my dad. Prior to that, I had lost one of my brothers. A year and a half prior to that, I have lost other people, and I struggled with it. I couldn't understand it. But with John's death, it was so devastating where I had to choose to say, this is the circle of life. This is part of it. How do I begin to step back out into the world with him in my heart forever and ever? And so when before that, I was floundering. I was drinking way too much. I wasn't eating well, if at all. I wasn't sleeping. I was smoking cigarettes again, because I had quit. I believe it was like 10 years prior, before 9/11. So I was just floundering. And that's what I would do when something happened in my life. I would drink, I would smoke, I would just kind of pack it down. Right? I'm good. Right? You ever hear that? I'm good.
Yeah.
So when I made that decision, and this is something I like to share with your audience, my audience, that you make that choice, be open to what shows up. Because things start showing up in ways that I never imagined. When I got the feeling of meditation, I was like, oh no. I'm a New Yorker. I'm a go, go, go kind of person. I'm not going to sit. I got my list to do. So it was at that point I kept saying, I can't feel, nothing will be as painful as what I feel right now. So I have to try.
Wow, that is so powerful. And I love that. And I think, this month I'm talking about permission. And I feel like in that moment, you gave yourself the permission to decide something different. Jessica is saying there, it's like, yeah, it's true transformation.
Yes.
It is. It's true transformation. And you gave yourself the permission, you made that commitment, that decision to say, actually, I know that this affected me, but I need to move on with John still in my heart, with the love and with the joy from the memories. So then you can show up and do what it is that you want to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it was and still is a process. Like you said, it didn't happen overnight. I learned that grief, it's not linear. It's waves of emotion that come and go. His birthday just passed, which you share the same birthday as
That
he.
was like a whoa, no way moment. We
Yes.
knew there was a special connection, but we didn't know what.
Yes.
Until we realized that me and John share the same date of birth.
Yes. And so even his birthday, April 3rd, like yours, I felt it. I just felt this heaviness in my heart the day before. And then that day, there was just a sadness of the life that he was cut short of, the life that we were cut short of. And so it's this grief is such a ebb and flow of emotions that can get triggered at any time, and that I've learned to give myself grace when that happens and pick up one of the tools, I still journal to this day. There was times when I stopped doing it, but I picked it back up. It was a way for me to empty what was going on in my mind without sharing it with anyone. I didn't want to share it with anyone. I mean, I tried a therapist, I went to a psychiatrist. There's different pieces that I've tried. And I recommend that for people. Right? Try different things, but it's work, and it's hard work, and you unravel. Like I say, my heart was just covered like an armor around it. And slowly I had to chip away to reopen it. And the scar is always there. It's sealed, and sometimes it opens, and sometimes it burns.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And, I think nowadays what happens is that people think, we're so trained to think you do something one time and then it's done. You go through one journey and then ta-da, we are like finished product, and now I can go on and move on with my life. We feel like, we've been trained to think everything is quick, fast, solution based, efficiency. But healing, transformation, it's a journey. And I love what Jessica's saying here. It's like,
Yes.
I feel as though it's almost living. Grief has a heartbeat of its own for those we are missing.
Beautiful, Jessica.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's that, how can we, and I'm going to kind of like shift gear slightly now, Jude.
Of
It's
course.
like, how can we, knowing what we know, knowing that it's not a one and done process, and knowing that it will keep coming back again and again, you know, like that heartbeat that Jessica was mentioning, how have you managed to become the person that you are today and sustain yourself in the way that you always have a beautiful smile on your face, that you're here brave enough to actually share your story so openly? What got you to this point from there? It's another big question, I know. I'm throwing you really deep.
It's a beautiful question. So at first, Jeanette, the loss of John was devastating, and that's all I focused on. All I focused on. I didn't even know. I didn't even pay attention. I didn't even realize the trauma that was in my body and what I went through in addition to his death.
Mm.
And so for me, as I navigated this healing journey and uncover who I am, that's part of it. It wasn't like I was a fake person with him, but I dove in deep of who am I? Who am I? And also came to the beautiful realization that this is a story that I want to share with people to help people, to inspire people, and guide them through their journey of becoming who they are, and maybe through loss that they're stuck in. So I turned it to, and this you can do with what happens in your life, right? I'm sure many of your audience, as well as you, have heard it didn't happen to me, it happened for me.
Mm.
And I say that with John always in my heart. He gave me, and I say this, and it took me a long, long time to accept this and say it, that John's death, he gave me such a huge gift. He gave me the gift of go, fulfill your mission, be who you are meant to be. Because I left my corporate job, I got into a whole holistic, healthy lifestyle that I want to share with people. So, yes, that's some of the answer. I believe I answered it.
Yeah, that is such a powerful reframe. It's like, and I remember when I was still grieving many, many years after my grandma passed, because I didn't know how to grieve. I was actually kind of relative young, and it was before my personal development journey. And when I learned about that reframe, it's like, actually everyone's here to give you a gift. Doesn't mean I don't cry. It doesn't mean that I don't get upset. It doesn't mean that I don't dream about her. Like, my thing with my grandma was mango pancakes. So every time I have mango pancakes, guaranteed to cry, right? It's a thing.
Yes.
But I hold it with love, knowing that she's come from love. And, from your reframe as well, that he gave you the gift to go and live the life that you should be living. So would you say that, I mean, we don't know what could happen, but do you think you would have got on that journey of become a yoga teacher and all the things that you are now and meditating if you stayed with your previous life? Let's call it that.
Previous life.
Very hypothetical question.
It is. And sometimes, of course, I reflect on that, right? And it's now, what, 24 years later? And I would think, would I still be in the corporate world, right? Climbed up the ladder, right? And ending up with a title, right? That didn't mean anything. So to answer your question, if I didn't choose this path after John died, I truly believe something else would have hit me over the head. Worse than 9/11, right? Worse than the loss of John. Because I had little taps, right? I had cancer when I was young, and then my dad died, and my brother died. So I had these little taps, like, oh, wake up, wake up, wake up, and I would just like go to my dad's funeral, take off a week from work, and back in my corporate job, out in the city, living the life of a 20-something-year-old. So I feel whatever people believe in, whether it's the universe or God or the divine, it's like, okay, she's not getting it yet. Let's see if this will help.
Are you gonna listen or not? Are you there? Like, knock knock, hello.
That's how I feel now. And back then too, Jeanette, John and I would have conversations. He worked in the World Trade Center, obviously. I worked in the World Financial Center, and we would say, open the doors to the World Trade Center and see thousands of people. And I'm like, is this what life is about? So there was this something that was tugging at my soul, but it didn't tug enough. So to answer your question, I think I would pray that I would be here at this point, but one never knows.
Who knows? But I'm so happy that you actually chose that path. And, we use the words very deliberately and very carefully, choose, because it had to be a choice. It had to be your choice. No one else could have knocked it into you.
Exactly.
And said, no, Jude, you're now going to go and meditate. You're now going to go to yoga.
Exactly. It's the choice and then stepping into the actions, right? Taking those actions. Even to this day, as I share my story, as I put it in the book, it's like, ooh, I'm sharing my story. There's this little bit of being scared, right, to put myself out there, but then it goes back to, okay, I have to take this action. This is not for me to hold on to. Not for me to hold on to. This is to help others. We all have stories. Mine isn't worse than anyone else's. We all have stories. We all lose people that we dearly love. And I just like to create space where you can hold someone during the grieving process. And whatever way they choose, again, that word again, they choose their healing path. All different.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we begin to wrap up today, I can't believe it's half an hour already. But if we begin to wrap up today, knowing what you know now, having experienced that very vivid and traumatic journey that you've been on, what is one tip or piece of advice that you can give to audience today that might be going through challenging times, might be going through grievance, might be going through something that they don't yet know how to handle?
I would say just from my experience, is take a look at yourself and make a decision to begin to heal and to be open to what shows up. And it's okay to feel what you're feeling, because that's exactly where I was. I didn't know how. I didn't know what to do. What I was doing wasn't working. So I made the decision that it was time. And that's one way to begin your healing journey. Is that's what I'm offering.
Thank you so much for that, Jude. I love that. And with everything that we do, it starts with a decision. It starts with allowing yourself to feel whatever you like to feel, but then actually making that decision to go, okay, now I can start to heal. And we're not saying that it's going to be like, poof, done, ready. But that commitment to yourself personally to start the healing process is one that's going to be, as you can see with Jude here, one of the most transformational decisions that you can make for yourself.
Yes, Jeanette, I love that. That's exactly it. Commitment to yourself. Commitment to yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and on that note, thank you so much, everybody who has been watching live, and thank you for all the comments. I hope I showed them quick enough and in time. Relatively. Thank you. And, we would love to hear from you. What were your thoughts about this particular episode? Have you had any similar experiences where you had to handle grievances, you had to go through some healing? And what is one thing that you can take away from Jude's story? Because we shared a lot. Jude shared so much today. She literally bared her soul to us. But what's one thing that you can take away that you can decide to take an action on and make that commitment to yourself with? Thank you so much. I almost don't want to end this, but thank you so much, Jude, for coming on. It has been my absolute pleasure and honor to have you here today, and I can't wait to have you on again soon with all of the new things that are going to happen in the future as well. For everyone who is watching, I will put Jude's links. Jude's got a few books and also social media. I'll put all of the links in the comments after this so that you can just click on it and find out how you can connect with her and read her story in more detail and see for yourself Jude in her absolute brilliance.
Thank you so much, Jeanette. This has been a true blessing, and you're a true blessing for all of those that you are touching as well. Thank you from my heart and soul.
Thank you. On that note, thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and thank you for watching the replays. We will see you again in 2 weeks' time. Bye for now.
Bye.